What's up, Instagram? It is Tuesday, April 14th, which means it is the 14th day of Calendar Club. I got my 14 miles in already. Most people are on time zones in front of me, so I imagine most folks have gotten their miles in, hopefully, for the day. 14 means week 2 is down. Congratulations, everyone who's knocked off 2 weeks, who's stuck with this challenge. I know it's starting to ramp up here for everyone, but yeah, it's getting serious. But I'm proud of you. We're gonna do a little Q&A here. My man Jesse Itzler should be signing in here fairly soon. But yeah, how's everyone feeling? Jesse's coming in. Let him get him ready to sign on. But yeah, it's great. I'm definitely starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel the miles add up on my legs a little bit. But I see everyone out there posting, the recovery they're doing. I just got done with my ice bucket. So that felt good in the legs. People have been putting questions. I put on the Instagram, but you can put some more questions in the box right here, and Jesse and I will get into it. Let's see here. Let's see if Jesse's in yet. I think he's signing in right now. Hold on. I might have to give him a few more minutes. Yes. Sorry about that. Slight technical difficulties. Jesse's coming in a second, but anyways, let's I'm gonna do one of your guys' questions here before this is more of a esoteric question. You having dreams about running? I haven't had any dreams about running quite yet, but I've definitely I wake up every day going, all right, here we go again. Let's do this. No, it's not. Jesse's not there yet. Jesse, where you at? He just texted me, so I know he's coming in. I know he's signing in here in a second. But let's see here. Let's see, future. Yesterday was a breeze for me. Some days are super hard. Some days are super easy. I'm doing push-ups. Push-ups, man. People that are doing some different things other than the running. I got to say, mad respect. Obviously, I set this for myself as a running goal. Most people are taking it as a running goal. But the push-ups and then the people doing pull-ups. I got, one guy's doing 5 pull-ups more every single day, up to 150 pull-ups, which I can only imagine that would rip my arms to shred. Or the guys doing the planks. There's a few groups of people doing planks, which is pretty impressive for sure. So, all right, I know Jesse should be coming. I'll give him a few more minutes here. We'll start answering some more questions. How many hours are you sleeping? I'm trying to prioritize sleep. I think sleep is one of the most important things just in general in my life. I found that that sleep is pretty much the most important. We could say all things about recovery like foam rolling and ice bath and all this kind of stuff, but sleep is the number one thing, period, for anything. Okay, Jesse's here now. So I've been getting like maybe 9 hours of sleep a night. Also been taking some naps. But let's bring Jesse in. Without further ado, Mr. Itzler is coming in. Signing in, waiting, connecting. What up? What is up?
How you doing, Colin? Look how much has happened since you guys started running.
That's what 14 days looks like, man. That's what 14 days looks like.
When these guys start this challenge, I'm not shaving, and here I am. It's driving Sarah crazy.
It's looking good, man. It's like, well, not to go off topic, but I saw the lacrosse ball. I saw the damage that you did. You got to be careful playing lacrosse with your wife by the looks of it.
It was a horrible decision on my part. We get like 15 minutes a day without the kids, and I'm so excited to be with Sarah, and then I'm like, well, let's go play some lacrosse. And the next thing you know, she's crying with a black eye.
You were just whipping at her and she just kind of missed it and it hit her in the face, or
It
just
was it was a combination of first of all, she's an unbelievable lacrosse. Like she blew me away with her eye-hand coordination.
she's like
But one,
throw it over her mouth.
she was like whipping it around. But one of them got away from her and got her in the eye.
Oh man, brutal, brutal. Well, lacrosse in quarantine. Yeah, man. Well, it is. Last time we checked in, it was I think day 7, end of week 1, beginning week 2. Now we've just knocked off week 2, day 14. Pretty much everyone I think has gotten their miles in because I'm on the West Coast, so I'm like the last to go. We got the people in Australia, like I'm like haven't even gone to bed yet, and they've already knocked off like the day in the future. So they're leading the charge, but. How do you remember how you were feeling 2 weeks into this journey? Because to me, I feel like this is where it really has kind of got like I hit the half marathon mark yesterday, and it's like okay, like these are real, these are serious days now.
Yeah, I started feeling deflated. I started doing what probably 99% of the folks on this call are doing, which is getting ahead of myself and thinking, how am I going to do this tomorrow and the next day and the next day? And you don't have to. You have to just worry about tomorrow. You make a plan tonight on how you want to spread out and attack tomorrow. So I was at this stage in the journey, I was struggling because of that. And I was going ahead of myself. When you have a big task like this, whether it's a business challenge or this running challenge, you got to chop it up into manageable bites. So I started really just being super present. Literally, I said this before, Colin. I'm reward driven. So I was running 6 minutes and walking 4 minutes, and every 6 minutes was a reward. I literally broke this into 6 minute increments, 10-minute increments. So that's where I was at this stage, and it forced me to really be super present. Just think about tomorrow, guys. Don't celebrate where you're at. Don't think ahead. Get through tomorrow.
So one of the things that keeps coming up is one of the questions I'll put up. A lot of people ask basically a similar derivative about recovery, but I had a specific kind of version of the question that I wanted to ask, which is, I know you didn't take any days off, obviously. That's the whole point, is getting the miles done in the 24-hour. But did you ever feel like you took a quote-unquote recovery day, meaning like maybe it was day 15 or maybe it was day 18 and you were like, today I'm going to really dial back the pace. Obviously it would take longer, but it like in your mind, it was like a recovery in the midst of the challenge.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Before you guys focus on recovery, before you start focusing on recovery, you have to think about prevention. So what you're talking about here, Colin, is prevention. And that was a big part of my strategy. So yes, I went slower and I spaced out my runs, and if I was going to weigh it, recovery versus prevention, I would weigh it way heavier in prevention than I would recovery. Yep. I was too tired to recover, man. I just wanted to go to bed. I was falling asleep in Ubers. Everywhere I could sleep, I was sleeping. Yeah. So the real focus is on prevention, and prevent the steps you can take to prevent injury, delay fatigue, are things like going slower, walking some of it, going in the morning one day and then starting later the next day, sleeping late. Yep. And then those are all prevention tools. The recovery stuff, yes, you want to elevate your legs, you want to do some ice. If you have ability to get a massage, like with one of those massage sticks or something, you could do that now. But I would really, really think about how could you extend this journey. I think that that's great advice, and I've been thinking the same thing, which is it's such a long month, obviously, and it's so many miles. But if you're splitting it up in the days, you're never like not running for any sizable period of time. So there's no like true full recovery. And I found this in my other expeditions. I think prevention is like the right way to say it. It's like how do you get in front of anything? It's not like once you're already broken down, how do you recover from it? It's like, how do you not get so broken down? How do you not get so beat up? How do you get to the end of your run or the miles, or if some people are doing push-ups or, rowing or gone, but how do you get to the end of that being like, oh, I could continue on if I needed to, because tomorrow you're going to need to go a little bit further. So how do you get in front of that?
I think that's, you know, huge in my thought process for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And look, this is the luxury here is this is not a race. So you have the luxury of running 5 miles, taking your shoes off, changing your socks, not chafing, not getting blisters. If you're rowing, the same thing, biking or whatever. You have the luxury. Be smart, guys. You know, be smart. Break this up. If you feel something is coming, a blister or something, take care of it. So the reason why I was successful was a combination of three things: will, planning, and being smart. I planned my days. I followed the script. I mapped it out. I took it one day at a time. I was super present. But I also was very smart. You know, I would come back and I would do a full change. If it was raining, I would get dry. I would wait till, I mean, I ran in the rain a lot, but you know, if I was going 18 miles, I go 12, come back, change, wait till, you know, it gets a little drier or whatever. So be smart about this process. And that's part of the fun. Part of the fun is figuring it out and plotting and going at night and mixing it up. And, you know, you got to turn it into a mental game. And the more you can, what's the word? Gamify this,
Mm-hmm.
the better off you're going to be, as opposed to attacking this like it's a chore. And like,
Yes, I think that. I mean, I definitely trying to express gratitude, the enjoyment of doing it every single day, the ability, or at least where I am, to safely be outside without, getting too near other folks. But also, like you said, I think just planning for it, within the day. It's one thing. I know you've done a lot of big races, 100-mile races. Obviously, I've raced triathlon, professional things I've done where you're trying to high perform in a single moment. Like the stakes are so high. If you crash your bike, you get a flat tire. If you get injured, like that's it. Like the race itself is over. But the calendar club is not that kind of a challenge. The calendar club is 30 days, putting it together day after day. And like you said, the ability to plan, also adapt. If you're getting a blister on your foot, like stop in that moment and fix that. You don't need to like gut it out for the next 5 miles, because that's only going to set you back for the next week, rather than being like, fix that little thing, change a pair of I've been running through like a few different pairs of shoes. So like not one foot pattern is like rubbing the same way. I'm just like each day I do a slightly different shoe, a slightly different outfit, just so that, kind of just switch little things up. Because for me, that's kind of helping not only with my mind, but my body stay healthy as well.
Yeah. And, Colin, all of your challenges were, you're setting world records. You have the pressure of the media. You have the pressure of putting a big challenge out in the public. And everybody's getting a taste of that right now. If you're posting this on social media, if you've announced this to your friends, if you're in the video, you're feeling that pressure. And one way to alleviate that stress, to take a little bit of the pressure off you, is first, celebrate the fact that you're in this challenge. Whatever happens, that there's 7 billion people. I'm just going to say I'm very proud of everybody for stepping up. The 1,000+ people. This is ridiculously hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm glad that I'm not up to doing it. It's hard, man. It's a major time commitment. So I commend everybody. And if you're on this call and you've even made it to this day, that is an amazing victory. So
sure. This is a question that's derivative of exactly what you're talking about, but I think that you would like to answer this, and I have my own answer, but is how do you deal with people saying you won't achieve it? You won't achieve it. Obviously, this is, I think, somebody who has put it up on social media, who is talking about it, who is documenting their daily miles, and now people are chirping in their ear going, that's too many miles. You can't do that. You're not strong enough. There's no way. That's impossible. Like, whatever. Like, what do you say, in response to that?
I love those, because I've been dealing with those my entire life. You're never going to get a record deal. You're not going to get a book deal. Your business isn't going to work. I've been dealing with that my whole life. So my answer to that in my own head is, are you kidding me? You didn't even try it. And, so like I laugh at that. It's like the person telling me I'm crazy, I'll never finish the marathon, is the person that's never even tried to run a marathon.
Yeah.
So those people, and by the way, these things also weed out friends. You start to see who's supportive and who's a doubter, who's a hater, and who's someone that's elevating you and says, And a real friend would be like, I'm so proud of you for trying that.
Heck
Like,
yeah.
good luck. How can I help you?
Yeah.
You know, and a friend that's jealous or whatever, they're going to be like, you'll never do this. What is ridiculous? So I listen to that stuff, but I laugh at it, man, because like I said, I've had so many people in business that say that those are the people that are limiting themselves in adventure in life. Whether you succeed in this or not, the victory and honor in this, it's only two things, guys. It's like there's only two outcomes. I talked about this last week. One is victory, or two is you went as far as you could go. And somewhere in the middle of the night, you stopped running because for whatever reason, either one of those is acceptable. What's not acceptable is waking up tomorrow and be like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Put your shoes on, go run a couple of miles, and then turn around and come home. That's acceptable. But just saying I don't want to do it,
No, I agree with that. And I mean, I think that the way that I think about the answer to that question is, and I think someone said it really well here, which is, you know, people want us to fail to reaffirm that they made the right choice to not even try to do it, you know? Before I started on my Antarctica crossing, there was an article published in Wired magazine that said, literally words, it is straight up impossible to take enough food to cross the continent of Antarctica in the way that I was trying to do it, unsupported, unassisted. And like, you know, that's like the media shouting it, just being like, yo, that's impossible. And I called my project the impossible first because, you know what? I said, it might be impossible, but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone. And if I announce to the whole world that I'm going to try to make this crossing and I make it 37 days in and I do run out of food or I get injured and I can't do it, you know what? At least I tried. And I know I would grow by stepping outside of that comfort zone. Today, if you were on this call and you have completed all the miles or all the kilometers or whatever way you're breaking it up, in terms of miles, we've already done 105 miles. You woke up on March 31st, saw a post by me on Instagram and said, you know what? I'll give that a try. And now you've run more than 4 marathons. That is success. That is amazing. We are trying to make it to day 30. We are trying to continue healthy, strong, fit. But just like those people were saying, you know what? You can't do this. What are they doing? What have they done the last 14 days? Give yourself a pat on the back for what you have done by raising your hand and giving this your absolute 100% best effort.
Yeah, for most people that have made it this far, you know, like to break it down into marathons and you say someone, I've ran 4 marathons, or if you're doing it in steps, I've done X amount of steps. For most people, that'll be the most they've ever done in their life. And that's something you could be like, look, you know, and I'm not giving anyone an out here. I don't want anyone to think like this is an out. I'm just saying there's plenty of success in that. Say I tried this. It was an insane goal for me. And I made it to day 14. I ran 4 marathons, or, you know, I did 140,000 steps or whatever people are doing. I don't know. That's crazy.
Heck yeah.
We have an event. Colin and I have an event called 29029. The success rate is around 68%. I love it. 70%. So that means there's 30% of the people out of 300 people, 100 people aren't going to finish. And everybody leaves there feeling successful because they climbed a certain amount of mountains. And they went out there and said, and most people say this, man, I never expected to even do 1, and I did 11.
Yes.
And they come home and it's like, and that's how I want people to feel about this. It's like, you know, the success rate on this, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's the journey, the challenge, the participation, the community. And like I said last week, the ROI, your return on your investment in the miles, the time, the lessons, that's the victory in that. I'm looking at my friend Pre in here. He's on like day 14. The guy's never run like 4 or 5 miles. If he drops out tomorrow, he's a hero to me. He's a hero. I can't even believe you're still going. So
I
I'm
see his
looking at,
Instagram every single day, man. It's awesome. It is so good. And like Jesse said on the last call, I see every single person that posts. I know I can't respond every single day. There's so many, but I see every single post. I sit every single day. I watch them. I respond as much as I possibly can. But you guys are inspiring the heck out of me by your daily perseverance. The people, you know, we got a good guy running in Bozeman, Montana, like up to his waist in snow, but he's still getting it done. Like it's snowy places. Chicago, couple days. Like I was on the sunny where I was. I think it's about to start raining. Get bad for me, but Chicago looked freezing. People wearing like face masks. They're still getting out there. There was one guy who had snow, like literally like 6 inches of snow on the bill of his hat because of all the time he was running. It had snowed that much, but he's still getting out there doing it. So keep posting. You guys are inspiring the heck out of me as we share this journey together.
yeah, and let me just say this. You know, most people that are doing this, they've never done anything like this before. I can't even believe I got myself into this. This is a great challenge, whatever. You don't know where this is going to lead. It might lead you to saying, wow, I'm going to try a triathlon, and you become really into triathlons. It might lead you to say, wow, I'm going to run a marathon. I never thought it was never even in my radar. It might lead you to get into camping or something more outdoors, or it might lead you to cold plunges, and that's something that you become part of. Who knows? What's great about these challenges, I'm telling you, it's not the finish line, man. It's learning and experiencing and putting yourself out there and opening yourself up to this new world of adventure. Colin and I live in it. He lives in it in a much more extreme way than all of us. But he didn't start there. He didn't start crossing in. He started by entering a race, figuring out, wow, I'm pretty good at this triathlon thing, swimming. Led to Ironman. I'm pretty good at this thing. Led to his first expedition. Led to world records. It didn't start in the Guinness Book. It started with what we're doing here. So that's what this is about. Getting your feet wet, learning about yourself. Whoa, I'm really into endurance stuff. Maybe there's another. I'm going to sign up for 29 or 29 now. I never knew I could stay up this late. I didn't know how resilient my body was. You just don't know what the lessons are going to be unless you do it. So all the people are saying, oh, you'll never do it. You suck. They're never going to get these lessons.
Yep,
They're not going to
100%.
get the lessons.
I gotta shout somebody out who's on here. There's a guy named Limitless Tosh. I'm not exactly sure where he's based, but he has been actually running the laps inside of his house. He sends me the GPS file because he can't go outside. So he's actually running all of the kilometers. Yesterday he sent me like, yo, I did a 13 kilometers, and it's inside a loop, like in a basement, up and down the stairs inside of his house. Like that is somebody who has taken the challenge and is committed. Like, damn, respect, Limitless Tosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have the luxury of, checking everybody every single day. But I catch a lot of it. Usually it's just a heart or a thumb up or whatever. But the stories are unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing. So I'm curious because I've been thinking about this. One is kind of how your body actually changed over the course of you doing it. And this person asked a similar question, which is, did you find the whole thing getting easier as you progress? I'm not going to leave that up there because it blocks your face, but I know you and I talked about this offline of just kind of feeling actually at some point a little bit more fit, kind of working yourself into shape a little bit. Obviously we're getting tired, but also some fitness increases. And I'm also just curious for you, like, did you lose weight? Did you gain weight? Did you see anything change muscular wise? Like, did your body change? Like, how was it for you? I'm just totally curious.
Yeah. So it's funny, man, because I actually gained weight the first couple of weeks because I was going so slowly. So my preservation. So my heart rate was never getting up that. I'm a runner. I monitor my heart rate and this kind of stuff. So I actually gained weight and I was freaking out. I'm like, I've run like 225 miles and gained 3 pounds. I'm like, this is the worst challenge ever. I had the mentality that I was going to run myself into shape. 4 months prior, October, I ran a 100-mile race. So I went from weighing 187. I started the calendar club at 207, 20 pounds heavier.
Oh, wow.
So I was out of shape. And I'm like, I'm just going to run myself into shape. Now, I already had that foundation. My legs were still I still had some of that foundation.
That fitness was there, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So if you're running this, anyone that's running this in miles, and you're coming in naked, like running 20 miles a week, and you're doing this, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, because I've been running for 30 years every day. I've run 36,000 miles over the last 20, 30 years or something. This isn't like I just walked into this challenge. So I give everybody a tremendous amount of respect. And
did you end up losing weight at all by the end? Did it come back?
The last week it was melting.
Yeah, I'm sure. At some point, your body would just switch it on. Yeah, because I'm just curious to kind of look into the future, the crystal ball a little bit of how that's going to shape out. Certain amount of just so many hours.
Just so you guys know, I'm coming back right now. That 207 is on a downturn right now. I'm downturning. I'm trending in the right direction.
That's good. So before we finish up here, what I wanted to ask is, and I'm excited. I'm really grateful that we're doing these weekly calls, because I think they're good. They're kind of benchmarks as we go. You're out in the forest now. I like that behind you. Did we lose you? Did you walk away from your internet? Oh, there you are. We got you back. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Week one, I felt like was about setting the routine. Like the miles aren't too hard, but it is hard to break your routine. You're not running every single day. You're not getting up doing something. Like week one is like break into that routine. That's what I was really preaching to people. And week two, it's like it kind of gets real. Like by the end of week two, where we're at now, like we're doing more than a half marathon. Like you said on the call last week, like a half marathon is something that people often train for all year long to complete. And now that's just like the daily norm if you're doing all the miles. Regardless if it's miles, kilometers, planks, whatever. If you're doing 30 minutes of planks, that's insane, by the way. That's freaking crazy. But bottom line is, when you think about the next couple of weeks, or more or less just break it down into week three, like what's like the Jesse Itzler week three advice? Obviously, I feel like when we check in next week and it's day 21, day 22, kicking off week 4, we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but massive miles. But this middle phase, this week 3, where it's like the miles are high, but we're not quite there. Like, hit us with some wisdom of how you would approach that and how you did approach that to get through kind of this middle high phase.
All right. Well, first of all, even when I get to day 21, 22, I never think I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The money's never in the bank. Even day 30, last day, 31, the money's not in the bank till the money's in the bank. So I'm always focused on being present. It's the same mentality all the way through. Positive attitude. I say to myself, this is 1 month of my life. I'm going back to normal at the end of the month. Can I just sacrifice this for greatness? And if I do it, nobody can take it away from me. So that's my mindset every day, all the time. I try to make it my lifestyle. I try to break it up and be smart into multiple runs. I get creative with what works. My strategy around, maybe I get a mile in at midnight, so I have 1 less when I wake up, 2 right away when I get up. Every hour I'm going to run 2 miles for the next 5 hours, 10 miles, boom, without even feeling it. 18 minutes, 9-minute pace, boom. I could take 18 minutes of the hour. Involving my kids, getting them out there. So that's my just every day. How can I get through the day? That's my only focus, whether it's week 1, 2, or 3. But as I get into the next week, I am saying to myself, I'm getting stronger. I've accomplished a lot. I'm getting better. I'm giving myself a little pep talk, and I'm 1 day at a time. I'm 1 day at a time, man. I don't know how to say it any clearer.
I think one of the things that resonated the most from last week, and I'm hearing it again, what you're saying here, but I think it's very important to underline, is planning out the days, not weeks in advance, but the day in advance, the night before, being like, how am I going to approach day 15 tomorrow? What's that going to look like? What's my strategy? Some people are still going to work. Some people are working from home. Some people have kids. People have different things that they're managing. So it's a different answer for every single person. But it's how do you get out the door? How do you start the day? And how do you keep, planning that day? And forget about 16, 17, 18. You can plan 16 at the end of 15. Like, what is, planning those days and really kind of focusing in those moments.
anybody that has a business here, any entrepreneur, anyone that's ever had a big goal, anybody that's dreamed big of doing something unbelievably great in their own way or mind, knows that the only way to complete that is to have a little bit of an obsession and be out of balance. And if you want to have success and go wire to wire here, day one to the end, this is to be an obsession. It has to be something that you love. It's not a chore. It might suck, but it's just temporary. It's just for this month. That's my mindset in anything, business or anything. When I started Marquis Jet, I'm like, this is a 3-year grind, but the rewards are going to last me forever. My mindset in this is, I want this, man. I want it on my resume. I want to be able to say I did it. I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and say I did it, and that's it. And I've also had goals like that and obsessions like that have fell short, and they sting for a day. But then I come back to the fact that I tried, and I'm going to have more failures and more disappointments in my life along the way, but I'm not going to stop trying. And those failures, even though failure in the sense that I didn't get necessarily to the finish line, are unbelievable victories for me, because they give me the power to say yes, to be a doer, to try things. I'm looking at a cold plunge over there. All right. A lot of people might say, I'm never going to jump into that cold plunge. But you know what? Now that I've tried this and I've pushed myself and I've exceeded and I've trained my brain to go out there and keep going and be resilient, I might be willing to put my foot in and dive into that. So again, it's the journey, it's the ROI, it's the experience, it's taking inventory of your thoughts, your emotions. In week 3, I got really angry, Colin. I got really angry. I was mad at myself. Why do I need to do this? Who am I proving this to? Mm-hmm. Why aren't I with my kids? Why do I want to do this to my body? I had a lot, and then I started thinking about people I was mad at. A couple of names popped into my head that disappointed me, people that, that just things happen. So emotions, and I paid attention to it. Why'd that pop into my head? What am I angry about? And I shifted that anger. I used that anger to help me on a lot of the runs. Fuckers aren't out here. I'm the only one out here. Okay, I'm the only one out here. Right? I'm trying to build a coaching platform right now. Are the other coaches out here? No. Well, then I'm going to be a better coach than all of them because I'm out here and I'm going to learn lessons. I started you go crazy in your own
Fire
head.
yourself up. Get it? Yeah, fire yourself up.
Get yourself going, man. Get to that point. Get to that point.
Use that energy for fuel. And like you said, it is, yes, we've got 16 days left in this month, something like that. 16 days. It's not that long. 16 days. How many times in your life have 2 weeks passed by and you can't even remember what you did? You remember nothing about it. When you complete this, there will not be a single day. You'll be 80 years old sitting back. Somebody said, hey, you ever run so far? And you'll pop in your head, you know what? I did this thing called the Calendar Club this one time. I ran way further than I ever thought possible. You're not going to forget this. This is the type of thing that imprints on you. And like you said, the lessons you learn have those ripple effects out through curiosity, through business, through entrepreneurship, through all the different things, trials and tribulations in your life. You have an opportunity now to take this on and grow. Lewis, what's up, Lewis?
I was just talking to Lewis.
What's up, brother? That's a man who's come back and done 29 with us twice. The guy's climbed, he's doubled up.
He's a beast. People don't understand the Lewis Howes won't quit, insane will. That's the guy you want in your corner, man.
I'm gonna tell a very, very short Lewis Howes anecdote since he's on the mic right now, which is when he came to Vermont. This is very good for the Calendar Club folks. When Lewis Howes came to Vermont, he may not have known what he was getting into, trying to climb this ski mountain 17 times in a row to equal the summit of Mount Everest. And he got through 12 laps, and him and I were sharing a tent. And he came in, and he was shivering, and he was cold, and he was hypothermic, and he was a little bit in his mind, is this the moment where I quit up, like what you were saying in week 3 for you, which is is this why did I do this? Why am I out here in the first place? Who am I trying to prove this to? But he rallied like a savage. He took a couple hours of sleep, got warm, and he rallied. And him and his boy Matt finished it off. And now they finished it again. And I've talked to him afterwards. He's like, that was the low moment. We're going to face those low moments. Those moments of doubt. But when you rally back from it and you get to the top of the mountain or you finish those miles in the calendar club, that makes a huge difference. And that sticks with you forever.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts just popped into my head about what I was thinking around when I got to days 15, 16, 18, 20, 21. The first thing is I loved getting 8 miles under my belt. I felt like I just felt like that was a big turning point for me to get eight under my belt. And when I started out, 8 was like a milestone. Then it became like, getting 8 under my belt was I really had a strong foundation in the day. And I tried to knock that out before 10 in the morning. So I was like, let me get 8 done in the 10. And then another milestone for me was I realized that like I would tell myself, and I said this before, 6'4", running 6 minutes, walking 4 minutes. I can run a 6-minute walk, 4-minute block forever.
Yeah.
I can run 6 minutes forever. And I only have to do 18 of them. Once you have 8 under your belt, I only have to do 18 of them to get a mile. I could do 18 I can run 6 minutes 18 times. Walking is free.
Yeah.
So I played these games in my head. I did a lot of math in my head, and I just to break it up. Let me go. Sometimes I'd be like, I'm going to go walk an hour, and just to get them. So whatever works. But that's part of it, man. It's a Rubik's Cube. You got to figure out which way to turn this shit to make it work for you, and I love it. I'm addicted to it. I started out running 2 miles when I started running. That was my goal. And I got addicted to it. I had DNFs, did not finish multiple biathlons I tried early on, but then I ended up running 100 miles. But the entree to it was saying, I'm going to try. So again, I just commend everybody for putting your hand up and saying, no one knows what this is. I think there's only two people in the world that have done it. The only ones I know are me and Mark Brown.
Hopefully, we're going to add a few to that at the end of this, and we're going to make, like you said, the Hall of Fame or the completion list. We can add a few more names to that.
Yeah, there's 3 guys that reached out to me that did it last month. It's like 5 guys in the world.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
before we finish up, maybe you can pass if you want, but I've been seeing you throw some freestyles down pretty hard on Instagram in these quarantine bars. I know everyone would love to hear a Jesse Itzler freestyle or something you got up your sleeve. You want to close this out with a few bars?
You got your checkbook?
Oh boy.
Listen,
I'll donate one extra meal.
I got the pen back out the last couple of weeks. I wrote like 6. Some of them I got one. So every Saturday or Sunday I'm going to post one on Instagram. But right. I might do something live. But if I do it live, I got to get in the right. I got to change my hat.
All right. I won't. You got to get all. Yeah. You got to get into it. You got to get into it.
Well, but it feels good, man. It feels good to get creative, and I'm just having fun with it. It's fun. I'm 51 years old. I can't. But it's been fun.
Those that know Jesse know this, but not everyone necessarily knows this if you're coming new to, from my audience to see Jesse or whatnot. But he started out as a rapper, ladies and gentlemen. He's done a lot of things in his life, but he's actually had a hit song rapping on stages with massive acts in the 90s. Google "Shake It Like a White Girl" if you want to see something amazing.
Can I leave everybody with a quick story about that?
Yes, let's hear that.
Because we're talking about this rap career.
Yeah.
When I started out, I did a show called Club MTV. It was hosted by a girl named Downtown Julie Brown. It was like the highlight of my life, 21. Right after that, I flew to Pittsburgh for my first concert. I get off the plane in Pittsburgh. I'm on cloud 9 from just coming off MTV. I get off the plane, and there's a magazine rack with all these magazines for a magazine called Rap Pages. I was on the cover of Rap Pages. Rap Pages, what to rappers, was what like Forbes magazine is to entrepreneurs. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I bought every copy of Rap Pages. I'm sending it to my mother, send it to my grandmother. As I'm checking out, I look at the headline, and it's my cover. And the headline said, "Are white rappers ruining hip hop?"
You're
So
like, whatever.
Listen,
I'm on the cover.
5 years later, we start Marquee Jet. We're doing like $150 million year one. You never know when when you have an idea, it's going to change your life. And you never know when you're faced with unbelievable embarrassment or failure. Here's the thing about that story. Not one person in the world remembers it other than me. You don't finish this challenge, you have a bad outing tomorrow and you can't finish it, whatever happens, no one's going to remember it. You pick up your shoes and you go right to the next challenge. You have a victory and you complete this. You check the box and you say, man, what's next? That's how you stack victories. That's how you get separation from competition. What did Colin do? He sets a world record. What does his wife do? Get your gear, go do another one. Boom, he does another one. He comes home. What does he do? He looks for the next thing. He crosses Antarctica. What's the next thing? I'm going to row. He's probably got a list of 5 other things. It's called building your life resume, ladies and gentlemen. You constantly are on a quest for challenges and opportunities for growth. So I commend everybody for being here. And if you end up on the cover as the biggest failure and the poster child of an entire culture, just realize you can go like this, and in a year or 2 later, your whole life can change.
Yes. We'll leave it at that. Jesse Itzler, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back together on Instagram Live next week when we complete week 3 together. We're getting ready for week 4. But don't even think about that right now. A day at a time. Plan for it. I'm proud of everyone on this. And Jesse, thank you for paving the way. You know, like you said, only a few people have ever completed this, but you know, hopefully we're going to add a few more names to that list as we keep plugging away here in April for the Calendar Club. So,
Colin, can I say one last thing in closing about my friend Pri?
Yeah.
Who's in this group right now. Pri I was giving a speech in Arizona. The limo driver picks me up. I didn't even set it up, the company I was speaking to. And it's Pri. And he says, hey, man, we get in the car. He says, I know you're a runner. I brought my sneakers. You mind if we get a run in? I said, what time's my speech? He goes, we got about an hour and a half. I'm like, let's do it. We went in the mountains. We ran. He came to my speech with me at a Hawk game, and here he is in the challenge, man. I'm proud of you, Pri. I'm proud of you, man.
So many good
luck,
individual
everybody.
stories and as a collective whole. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jesse. We'll see you next week, my man. Be well. Don't play any more lacrosse with Sarah, all right?
Good luck, guys. Thanks, Colin. Love you.
All right. Jesse Itzler, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't quite get him to freestyle, but always dropping some wisdom. And shout out to Bree Williams. There he is in the comments. Hopefully you guys, I gave the suggestion in the emails, but starting following each other, people that are hashtagging Calendar Club, people that you see on my Instagram that I reshare, whatever, following each other, reaching out, connecting. I'm also going to send something in the email tonight of another way that we can all connect, because I think that the collective energy of this community is really going to uplift us to the finish line over the next couple weeks. But 2 weeks down, like Jesse said, you take those 2 weeks, you put them away, just look at tomorrow. We've come this far, but we're still right in the middle of it, and we're kicking off week 3 very, very strong. Appreciate everyone out there. My legs are feeling pretty good, but definitely, we got to stay healthy and safe. This is not the goal here is to not get injured, to not hurt ourselves. There's a difference between being sore and being mentally tired, but still pushing yourself to get out there. And there's a difference between actually being injured. And so we do not want people to get injured in the course of this, but we do want you to push through your perceived limits. So you got to find that happy balance, one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 mile at a time, 1 kilometer at a time, 1 plank at a time. It's the Calendar Club, day 14. Just like that. I feel like we started just yesterday. We've already flown through 14 days. We're going to be in the 20s before we know it. Keep going, everyone. I am so proud to be on this journey with all of you, and more very soon. Much love to everyone out there. Stay healthy. Stay safe.